What's up, everybody? Mike Somich coming at you for RacingDudes.com. With the Derby now just 4 months away, I thought it was time to take a look at 4 horses over 50 to 1 that I have a little bit of interest in coming here up to the Derby. 3 out of the Brad Cox barn and 1 that has yet to race that has already hit the Derby Future Pool board. So let's take a look at the Derby Future Pool board here. You see Forte, your favorite here at 15 to 1, Arabian Night 16 to 1 there. But like I said, we're going to look at 4 horses that are over 50 to 1 on this list as horses that I want to keep an eye on here leading up to the Derby. Horses I might take a sprinkle in here if you can get these fixed odds somewhere. This is an overseas book, but they're also available at Circa and some other books here in the U.S. online as well. So let's jump into 4 of these horses and let's see who we like at a big number. All right, let's kick it off here with the 8 horse in this spot. This is the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, and the 8 is Instant Coffee, a Brad Cox trainee by a son of Bolt d'Oro out of an Uncle Mo mare here. And you're going to notice right out of the gate here, Instant Coffee is hung 5 or 6 wide here in this spot. And this is one of the reasons why I like this race from Instant Coffee. Wasn't the most impressive showing, but I love the fact that we never got an edge from a pace perspective. We're not sitting up front. We're not getting a great trip here. And we were wide this entire time. So you saw we were 3-4 wide there in the first turn. And then you're going to see Instant Coffee here toward the backstretch, get comfortable. And I love the fact that this horse is able to show, can close from off the pace, can close from wide, doesn't need the perfect trip to win, which is what I think is key here, especially when you get in the Derby. You have 20 horses that are going that 1.25 mile distance. You're always going to have some trip trouble, and a lot of it's who can work out the right trip. Instant Coffee shown a little bit more speed in other starts, so I'm not worried here. The break was a little bit slow. That's what forced us 4 wide on that first turn. You can see a 50-second pace here. So the horses up front have an edge. You're going to see Instant Coffee start making a move here around the far turn. We're going to end up 4 wide here into the stretch. So again, we're going to lose ground on the first turn. We're losing ground on the second turn. And then we're going to have to start really revving it up here. And you can see Sai is working on Instant Coffee now to try and get him to push forward. Brad Cox obviously has won a Kentucky Derby, understands how to train these 3-year-olds into this stretch. So I like the training connections. We've seen great things from Bolt d'Oro in his freshman class. Uncle Mo, obviously a good influence on the bottom side to be able to help get the distance. And you can see once we straighten away, Instant Coffee is able to grind away here and get the job done. Now, this isn't a wildly impressive field, so I think this weekend is important for Instant Coffee. He'll be in the LeComp Stakes this weekend at Fairgrounds. If he can take a step forward, then I think this is a horse that has a shot to make some noise in the Derby, currently sitting on the board at 66 to 1. I think Instant Coffee is an interesting one here for the Derby moving forward. All right, let's take a look at another Brad Cox trainee. This time we're going to look at a horse named Tappet Shoes, currently 75 to 1 on the Derby Future Pools and Fixed Odds market. Tappet Shoes is the 7 horse here. You're going to see gets in a little bit of trouble here early, doesn't break as clean as you want, ends up 2 wide into this first turn, I guess 3 wide here in between horses. Now, this is Tappet Shoes' second start. The first start came at Churchill Downs, was in the 11 post, got pinched back at the break. Was a very slow pace up front, but I thought actually had a good run considering the trip trouble that you got that day. This is a horse by Tappet, obviously, Flower Alley on the bottom side, so you also have distance issues there or distance help there. What I really loved about this effort, when we turn into the stretch, take a look at what this horse does. Now, Tappet Shoes is still very green, and I think that's one of the keys. I think Tappet Shoes could actually progress nicely off this race. We're going to see him again this weekend. I believe it's Friday in an allowance over at Fairgrounds, so you got a shot at seeing Tappet Shoes again here. And like I said, you're getting 75 to 1 on this horse in the Kentucky Derby right now. Now, as we head into the far turn, you're going to start to see Tappet Shoes make a move. Corey Lanery angles this horse toward the outside and end up going 3 wide, or split horses here, end up 2 wide and then stretch way out into the lane. But again, watch how green Tappet Shoes is here down the lane. That to me is the key. When you see these younger horses that are kind of struggling a little bit from just from the head perspective, where they're weaving in and out, they're not staying straight. That means that there's improvement if we can fix that. And so you can see here, Tappet Shoes gets the lane. You can already see some of that weaving. It's going to get even more obvious here once we make the lead. You see Lanery looking back because the horse is lugging in. Then we're going to lug back out. But one of the keys to me here is once we straighten out, this last 16th of a mile is in 6 seconds. So this horse has kick and has ability left. You can see here he straightens out. You see that 140 time for the mile. You're going to see 146 come. A really impressive last 16th of a mile for a horse that's clearly still figuring it out. So if Tappet Shoes can put it all together, I think he's got a decent shot here, 75 to 1, to be one of those long shots that hits the board in the Derby. All right, let's take a look at one more out of the Brad Cox barn here. This is Hit Show, the 8-horse for Gary and Mary West. This horse is a Candy Ride, is by Candy Ride, out of a Tappet mare. So you've got good influence both top and bottom. Won the maiden score, went into the optional allowance level, wasn't able to be successful, but got a tough break. So this is that second time against winners here. You're going to see the 8 shows more tactical speed today, which I was really interested in seeing. Like I said, didn't break all that well in the second career start. So it's nice to see this horse tracking a decent pace here. We go 23 for the opening quarter. You're going to end up seeing a 47-second time come up for the half mile. Hit Show currently 66-1 as well on the board here for the Kentucky Derby. So another really interesting one in that sense, where you've seen this horse perform, or you get a big number on a horse that you've now seen perform well, have some adversity in one of the starts, and be able to come back and get 2 wins. And what I really like about Hit Show here is what you saw here in this middle move. So we see that 47-second half mile. You're going to see this Hit Show start to make up some ground 3 wide. And by the time we actually get into the turn, Hit Show is all the way up front with the 2 horse who ran a huge race in this spot as well. The 2 of them bang heads for a good part of the stretch, but it's Hit Show being able to dig in and drive on by and then open up on the competition I really liked. I thought this was a very professional effort for a 3rd career start. And the fact that Hit Show is able to just kind of open up toward down the lane, I thought was nice and impressive. You can see this is a much more professional horse than we just saw from Tappet Shoes. I thought that this horse, again, once he hits the front, just clears out, and then you're going to see it stretch out by 2 or 3 lengths. So this is another one I'm interested in next time coming into Stakes Company. You're getting 66-1 in the future pool. Another one that's going to be a longer shot if able to get into the Derby, but one that I think could definitely hit the board or possibly win at a big-time number there. So let's add Hit Show as well to the list of horses that are big prices right now that have a shot to make some noise in the Derby. All right, the last horse we're going to talk about is yet to race. Currently sitting on the board at 50-1, which I was shocked by. I was surprised this horse even showed up in the future pool, is Cage Match, which is a half-brother to White Abarrio for C2 Racing. We actually found out about this horse when we interviewed Mark over at C2 last year before the Florida Derby, and he mentioned that after they bought White Abarrio, they immediately went and bought Cage Match, who was unraced at that point, was just 2 years old, but they loved the upside from White Abarrio, and they wanted the next son out of Catching Diamonds, who was also the mare for White Abarrio. Now, like I said, you don't see these type of horses on the Derby pool, futures pool this early without them racing. And Cage Match already on that pool at 50-1, which means someone out there thinks Cage Match has a big time shot. And I don't blame them when you look at the last 2 workouts. So if you look at those last 2 workouts here that we're showing on the page, on 12-19, Gulfstream Park, 4 furlongs, 47-1. That's a bullet work. And then comes back on the 1st of January, 4 furlongs and 46 flat. Also a bullet workout. So Cage Match working wonderfully in the morning, sitting on the board at 50-1, tells you this horse is going to have some run. So really interested to see what Cage Match does. I expect we'll see 1 more workout, and then you'll see Cage Match, or we will see Cage Match as early as Pegasus Day trying to break the maiden. So keep an eye out for Cage Match, which he should be debuting here at Gulfstream Park shortly. Currently 50-1 on the future odds pool. This is one I think is going to be bet heavily in that first start. Probably has a very good shot at winning, and then we're going to see go right to Stakes Company. So keep an eye on Cage Match here moving forward as well. Thank you for checking out this preview of the Kentucky Derby here. 4 long shots that are currently big numbers on the board that I think have a shot at making some noise, possibly even winning the Derby. We got Cage Match at 50-1. We got Hit Show at 66-1. We got Instant Coffee at 66-1. We got Tappet Shoes at 75-1. All 4 of them, I think, have a shot at connecting at a big number. So make sure you stable them up and watch their futures as they progress here. If you want to throw a couple bucks on them, I think it's definitely worth it. I think they have a chance as well to make some noise in that Kentucky Derby if any of them happen to make the gate. Appreciate you checking out this video here at racingdudes.com. Make sure you're checking out all our videos over at YouTube/racingdudes, which include previews for all of the stakes races over the weekend, as well as Kentucky Derby top 5s and other preps. Make sure you're checking out Dudes Who Bet Daily every Wednesday through Sunday with our best bets around the sports and horse racing world. We'll see you at the track.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.